What's up, Panda Nation, Detroiters, Lions fans? Hey, I wanted to talk to you now about the Steelers game that we obviously lost. And I know there's some controversy. I was actually talking to another Lions fan. He's like, the season ain't over. And I know the Lions podcast actually just kind of made a case that we could still win the division, even though we're going to essentially 2 games back on the Vikings. You know, here's my issue. And this is going to be more anecdotal than more of my analytical rants in previously. And here's the spoiler alert. You know where I stand on this. I have not been silent for the last year or two. The coaching sucks, right? Everyone's talking about no good play calling in the red zone. You know, couldn't get across the goal line. I get it, man. You know, absolutely be frustrated there. But here's my anecdotal evidence for a couple of these issues. And, you know, we couldn't blame the refs this time, thank goodness. So one thing that I do want to make here, the point here, is that even if we kick those 2 field goals, the Steelers played like dog crap, right? They dropped 2 wide open passes in the end zone. They should have had 2 more touchdowns than we did, right? So they basically beat us by playing absolute slop, right? They were terrible by all measures, and they still beat us. On top of that, the defense was outstanding, forcing 2 turnovers, right? We couldn't deliver on the defense doing their job. And to be fair, you know, the defense holding a good team like the Steelers to 20 points, I think is doing their job, right? You should expect a couple of touchdowns, a touchdown in either half, right? A couple of touchdowns from your offense, and then some field goals from various points. So, you know, I know that some people say, hey, if you can hold them to 14 to 20 points, the defense does their job. And I think defense holding them to 20 points and forcing 2 turnovers was awesome. That being said, that combined with how sloppy they played, and they still beat us, you know, my point here is that the Lions are not a playoff team. You know, should they win the division? Maybe, because our division is a dumpster fire, right? The NFC North is between Trubisky and Aaron Rodgers being out, and basically journeyman quarterbacks in Minnesota, right? The Lions should win this. The fact that they are tied for last place in the NFC North just proves how bad they are, right? How bad they are, and I would argue the most talented team. Everyone talks about, you know, Aaron Rodgers and Matt Stafford being so similar, right? Well, you know what? I'd say it probably not. Aaron Rodgers is better, but Matt Stafford's a very good quarterback. So when you have that, you know, a couple talented receivers, an offensive line that was able to keep them vertical or upright this past week, and a defense that was, I would say, killing it, and you still can't win, and you still are tied for last place, that just shows you how bad it is. And so you got to lay the blame somewhere. Play calling and coaching, I think, is the key. Now, here's my other anecdotal evidence for things are falling apart in Detroit. The very end, you know, the victory formation, Steelers taking a knee to run out the clock, and the Detroit Lions defense goes off on the snap, right? In fact, there's a fight, ejections. There one ejection, I think, for Lions, I think, came off the sideline, whatever, right? That to me shows, one, a lack of respect for the coaching, right? Coaching is not controlling the players, right? There's no discipline, which I think is clear throughout, right? I mean, the problems with Eric Ebron catching, you know, I mean, if he's not catching his passes, right, you either sit him or you don't put him in the schemes. And the fact that they keep trying is just like, you know, I guess ignoring the obvious. And so coaching is a problem. Coaching doesn't have the respect of the team to say, hey, don't do that crap. But I think, to me, it was frustration because the defense did their job and they were still going to lose, and there was nothing that they could do about it. And the defense kind of taking out frustration on the Steelers, even though they weren't really frustrated with the Steelers. They were frustrated that the offense isn't doing their job, right? That phase of the game is not pulling their weight. You know, I would kind of chalk it up to things, you know, teams like Denver and the Bears, where the defense is just phenomenal and the offense, you know, can't do anything. But still, they have the discipline to say, hey, do your job, and, you know, what will happen will happen. And, you know, I'll be honest, the Bears are winning games, surprisingly, despite how much of a dumpster fire their offense is. And Denver, which now is having quarterback issues, and who knows who will be starting for Denver, you know, still have better records. The Bears have the same record we do. The Denver, which is starting to call or starting to panic, has the same record the Lions do. And yet the Lions have, 3 wins, and everyone's saying, hey, relax, give the coaching a chance, blah, blah, chances for coaching are done, man. We need someone not only, like I said, 1, have discipline, have the respect to the team, and 2, unlock the freaking talent, right? Where's the play calling? Where is the creativity, man? I won't even get into all that. But the lack of that is just was apparent, I think, to everyone last week. So anyway, that's just my rant. Coaching's got to go. Obviously, Jim Bob Cooter's got to go. No one's arguing that anymore, right? The fact that Lombardi left and that they went on a slight win streak obviously was not Jim Bob's contribution. It was just the fact that it was a change. We need an offensive coordinator with some talent and some creativity and experience. And I think, to be honest, if Caldwell's not going to make that call, it took him too long on Lombardi to make that call, then Caldwell's got to go too. And I just think Caldwell's not delivering. You can look at my video from last year talking about how they went from like an 11-win team down to a 9-win team over his tenure. And I'll be honest, if you listen to the Lions podcast, they kind of make the argument that the Detroit should be a 9-win team and win the division this year. A 9-win team? That's what they were last year. All right? That is not progress. That's mathematically, that is not progress. So if that's the case and you're not getting better, you got to go, man. On to the next one. I get that people are impatient, but I'm getting older here, man. Lots of Cubs fans never saw the Cubs win a World Series. I don't want to be the Lions equivalent of that, all right? So let them go. I think Terrell Austin should be probably elevated immediately to head coach. One of his assistants should be defensive coordinator, and probably just someone under Jim Bob should just be, I don't know who, quarterback coach or someone should just be elevated. It's not going to be any worse. They're going to have to run the same plays at this point. There's not, a lot of capability to add anything at this point in the season. But, just give someone else a chance and start cleaning house. Of course, they gave, Caldwell a contract extension, but you gotta eat that. You gotta know when you made mistakes, and no one's perfect. And, I think Bob Quinn has made a lot of good moves. That was a bad move. And, you know what? You gotta suck it up. Not everything's perfect. So get on it. New coaches, ASAP. Peter Von Panda. Out.